Oh, the one, the only.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning. It's so good to see you. It's always good to see you,
Good to
especially
see you
good to see you
too.
today, though. Man, you're looking great. Of course, in your signature orange.
Of
Hooray.
course, of course.
You
Can't
know,
see the shoes on the podcast, right?
oh, right. No, that's okay. I know you represent. You're all the way details. So I get it. This is really great. I am excited. I'm just checking LinkedIn to make sure. Seems like we're there. Okay, good. All right. And so I am excited. I haven't talked to you. Gosh, it's been maybe, I don't know. I mean, we talk here and there, back and forth, kind of check in every now
We're
and
doing
then,
our
but
thing. All our speakers are out there in the world doing our
I
thing.
know.
So it's
Yeah.
good that we're busy.
Yeah. Yeah. I came back from Sweden last month and we did a thing. We brought our kids, which was really
Fun.
cool. So,
Yes.
because I was speaking and Jay was speaking as well, we brought our kids and they did great and they had so much fun. And then they got to meet all my speaker friends, so that was really cool
No, I
too.
love it. I had an event one
Yeah.
time where my son got to introduce me, and they're like, "Is he
Oh,
going to be nervous?" I'm like, "No, no,
he's
the
good.
apple doesn't fall very far from the tree," and it was a great experience. My kiddos have been going to networking events since. I have to tell this joke, they're gonna kill me, but when they were little, I
Uh-huh.
shoot them up, take them with me, show them
Yeah.
how to, the old stuff that people forget sometimes, the social cues, eye contact,
Oh,
handshake,
right.
smile. So, one time, I remember my youngest son, he was upset and somebody said, "What's wrong?" And he
Hmm.
goes, "Mom's making us network again." And it was like
Oh.
the funniest thing to me. Like, I tell you, if I didn't have my kiddos, I wouldn't have 80% of my content, for my muse.
It's all content, baby. It's
Oh,
all
I love them.
content.
Meanwhile, my other son is the technical kid in the family, so
Oh,
he's
yeah.
behind the scenes running the IT, making sure the
Oh,
mics
I
are,
love it.
so it's a
I
good
love
I'm
it.
blessed. I'm blessed. I love my
That's
kiddos.
so great. That is so great. So, obviously, we know you are our fearless leader for the Carrie Mirabal Speakers Bureau, and I'm really, really looking forward to this conversation with you. I've gotten to speak to everybody else, most of everybody else anyway, and so I get to speak with you now. So this is really cool. Let's start with your whole naked networking thing because this is your platform and this is what you talk about and how you teach people, including your kids, networking, right?
Anyone, right?
Because your
Uh,
network is your net worth, right?
you know, I'll be honest with you. I feel like networking has a branding problem. It always has.
Mm, mm,
A lot of people think I do a lot of keynotes, master classes, and I do individual coaching at like in corporate settings, and
uh-huh,
it's always the same no matter where I'm at in the country
uh-huh.
or abroad. People Sometimes people think that networking is only if you're selling something, if you're looking for a job, or
If you're looking for a job,
if you're an
yeah.
extrovert only. And it's like, but the truth is that it's one of the most powerful tools to advance your career, to develop your business, to open doors you never even know existed.
Mm-hmm.
So I love doing this work because it just never gets old.
Mm,
The world moves really fast, as you know,
yeah.
and I look at it like I want to teach people how to network smarter, not louder. And really, it's the ones
Ah,
who network the smartest are the ones who stay
that's
relevant.
right. Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
and so I'm blessed because I get to teach networking in traditional ways, meaning if you go to an event or a conference, what are some of the etiquette things? But I
Mm-hmm.
also love, and I don't work for LinkedIn, but I use their tool every day.
Yes.
I love helping people understand how LinkedIn can be a platform for
Uh-huh.
them to extend their brand, to meet like-minded people. There's so many benefits, and
Yeah. I mean,
if
that's
you're
how we
not,
met. It was
yeah, I
LinkedIn.
mean, if you're
You
not
came
using that
through.
tool, it's
Yeah.
um it's a way to build like authentic strategic connections, right? And if you're not leveraging it, you're leaving opportunity and income on the table. So for me to get to be a conduit
Mm,
to help people realize the potential that's out there, I'm the one that's blessed, right? I'm excited
yeah.
that I get to be someone that
Yeah.
gets to help people in my own style to do that,
Right.
right? So that's my
Right.
passion.
Well, I love your style. It's great. How'd you come up with the word naked?
Oh my
Naked
goodness. Honestly,
networking.
it's because I hated networking. When I was young in my career, I tell this story in my book. one of the sales gals invited me to a networking event, and I was like, I basically hate this, so I don't want to go. And she's like, come on. And she dragged me there. And the whole time I was there, I just kept saying, I hate this. I don't know what to say. I don't know what to do.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
afraid of being rejected. And honestly, it equated to that feeling of nakedness, right?
Uh-huh.
That being raw, exposed, and just kind of like
Vulnerable.
wanting to be like this a little bit sometimes.
Yeah.
And so naked is actually how some people feel when they're, putting themselves out there. But it's also an acronym for 5 common mistakes that people make when they network.
Ah,
So, like, for example,
yeah.
the A stands for afraid. Why are
Oh.
we afraid to talk to strangers? And so
Mhm.
the whole keynote talks about what are the common mistakes, which one of you out
Mhm.
there is doing them, right? I call those the orange heels, the barriers. What's your orange heel? What's your barrier
Uh-huh.
that's holding you back? And then we talk about solutions that really aren't that difficult. You just have to develop the business practices
Yeah.
to do them. And it's
Yeah.
practice, patience, and persistence that helps us learn how to really implement networking in our daily. So,
Yeah.
yay, I
And
love it.
embody it and really embody it so that it doesn't become like this forced chore. Instead, the way you're doing it is you're really helping people wrap their minds around it so it makes sense. And so it's applicable. And even if you are maybe having an off day or you're not really feeling like it, maybe you have the framework. So you show up for the techniques and they work.
And it's interesting because a lot of people say, oh, networking feels fake. And I call them out on
Mm-hmm.
that. Like, I'm good at calling people out. It's
Yeah.
only fake if you are, because authenticity
Yeah.
always wins.
Yeah.
You know, being vulnerable gives other people permission to do the same. And that's where
That's
I
right.
have found the beauty of connection often comes from, is
Mhm.
saying, I'm kind of nervous. I
Yeah.
feel like this isn't, I always
Yeah.
tell
That's what
people,
my coach taught me when I was first starting to speak.
yes,
And he would say, "Yeah, but you have this quality about you. When you do that, if you are just leave it right out there." And there's a talk of me where I recorded like my thoughts inside my head and I played it. So like I'm standing in stage silent, but like you're listening to my thoughts. And it's
yes,
like my inner monologue of insecurity, like, oh my gosh, like, did
yep.
I wear the wrong dress? Did I do this? And, and, and he really taught me that. That was the first talk that I did where he coached me and he said, vulnerability, it trips the empathy switch.
Yes.
And people, they like want to root for, actually, I think that's in this talk
Back there somewhere, huh?
back there somewhere on my posters. And he taught me that empathy trips that vulnerability switch, and then people the vulnerability trips the empathy switch, and people want to help you. They
Right, and you're
naturally, yeah.
you're absolutely right, and it's interesting because when I'm coaching, professionals that hate networking too, for example, they'll say, "Well, my weakness is that I don't know how to talk to people, and I get really nervous," and I said, "Well, let's use that as a strength." For example,
Mm-hmm.
if you're at a networking event and you see like 4 or 5 people standing there, and you walk up to them and say, "Hi, everybody. I'm super nervous. I'm not
Yes.
really great at networking, but would it be okay if I joined your conversation?"
Yeah.
Who is going to tell that person,
Boom.
"No, get out?" It's like, and if they do, we don't want to be part of the mean girls, right? So most people will say, "Yeah, come on over. What's your
That's
name?"
right.
And most people are gracious because everybody can relate
Yeah.
to that feeling of vulnerability and
That's right.
awkwardness. And so I tell people, embrace that, put it out there, and
Yeah.
that can actually create even more opportunities that people take for granted that are there.
Uh-huh.
So
Uh-huh.
it's just
Yeah,
looking at things from a different
absolutely.
perspective and giving
It certainly
people
has opened
the
up opportunities for me when I started to be a lot more authentic when I
right.
show up. I did a talk one time here in Vegas locally. It's still going. I think they moved it to Southern California now, but I stood up and I was like, the first thing I said was, "Oh, I'm really nervous."
Yeah.
And I said, "I don't get nervous normally, but today I'm going to share a story with you that I've never shared before." And
Yes.
suddenly, guess what? The whole audience, what they do? They lean right in.
Yes. Oh my gosh, I wish we had 5 hours and I could tell you so many stories about crazy stuff happening to me, like while I'm on stage or right before I go
Yeah.
on stage, and how sometimes those end up being the unscripted moments that really capture an audience. And I think
Mm,
that's what audiences love,
yes.
people that are not afraid to take risks and go for it. I mean, believe me, I've had so many crazy things happen, from a zipper on my dress breaking in front of 5,000 people.
Yeah.
Um, I mean, just countless stories, it's just it's interesting because no matter what the size of the audience,
Uh-huh.
it changes the vibe a little bit, but it doesn't change the value that we're delivering, right? And
Right.
so, yeah, so thank you for sharing that, because a lot of people, it's public speaking is the number one fear in America, and people don't
Mm,
realize, how much courage it takes to stand up there. And we have
mm.
to deal with, like, I've dealt with like hecklers, and I've dealt with
Yes.
malfunctions, and like the
Uh-huh.
PowerPoint going out and the microphone going out. And like I said, I showed up one time with two uh, different colored orange shoes. I was like, what was I thinking?
Oh,
The two different heels. So you walk out like this because one of the heels is, and you're like, but you know what? You just keep going.
that's great.
So that's the stuff that keeps it interesting, because how many times have you gone to a conference or an event and you see a speaker and you think, oh, they've done this 100 times, and you can tell they're
Right.
bored doing it?
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
I don't ever,
Every
I
single
encourage,
scripted joke, the same
hate
exact
that.
joke that was in the
Yep.
same break, the
Ugh,
same, yeah. I
it's
went
like,
to a concert like that once. I was like, I went for the first night and it was great and was awesome. And then I went for the second night and it was the exact same show with the exact same jokes. And I went, wait a
yeah,
minute. And it just, the first night experience, I just deflated from it because
yeah,
they weren't connecting with the audience. In
yep.
fact, they were just rehearsing what they had done 100 times
Yes.
over
And
again.
audiences are smart. They can feel that. So with our
Yeah.
speaker bureau, we also have a speaker academy where people who say, I want to do what you do, can come in, and they work with me for a good 6 months to help them
Yeah.
create a signature keynote, taglines, marketing toolkit, all the things that speakers need. Their brand, like mine is,
Yes.
black dresses, orange heels. It's a nod to the black is classy, the orange is sassy. My grandmother's favorite color was orange, so I honor
Ah,
her because she was my biggest fan. But
love
it's
it.
also like to remind me to have fun when I'm on stage. And so
Uh-huh.
we get to work with and develop future speakers. And for
Mm.
me, that's really fun to give back and help develop other people. And then hopefully they'll convert into the bureau where we help them find stages and things like
Yeah.
that. So it's just such a rewarding. I'm so
Yeah.
thankful to be able to do this work. And our bureau is like family. We refer
Yes.
each other, we encourage each other. Once a quarter, we get on these conference calls, and we're
Yes.
sharing. And a lot of bureaus don't do that. It's everybody kind of out
Ah.
for themselves, or they're so
I mean, we
big.
meet with each other and support each other
Yeah,
even outside of those calls, you know? I mean,
exactly.
I'm talking to Ant, I'm connecting with Travis. So,
Yep,
like,
me too.
everybody is still, even outside of the bureau, we know
Yeah.
each other, we talk and we reconnect. Yeah. Uh-huh.
We're not doing anything different than we're asking our audiences to do, right? To share
Good
knowledge,
point.
to encourage each other,
Mm-hmm.
to look for opportunities missed by most, and also accountability partners. So
Mm.
people can say, "Hey, what do you think of this idea? Hey, is this joke funny? What do you think? I'm thinking about changing my keynote title. Do you
Right.
like it?" So what a
Right.
wonderful. When I took on the speaker bureau, I had no idea where it was going to go. And this has
Uh-huh.
been an interesting season for me. It's been a lot of heartbreak,
Oh, you've been through
and
it. A lot of
and
loss.
boy,
Yeah.
life throws things at you, and you can either let them like get you down, or you can use them
Yes.
to step up on, and say, okay, if I can do that, I can do anything, kind of
Yes.
thing. And it's crazy because people don't realize, when we keynote, there's no backup. So like, I found out that my
Right.
grandma had passed away at like 11 o'clock at night, and I had to be on stage at 8 o'clock the next morning in front of thousands of people. And
Yeah.
it was like, and you know what? I
Yeah.
actually asked permission from the audience before I even started. And I said, I apologize, but this is what's happening in my life. And I'm dedicating
Right.
today's keynote to my grandma. And I showed a picture of us on stage, and I started kind of tearing up. And the audience just started clapping, like, to encourage me to keep.
Right.
And I told the event planner that booked me, I said, I'm sorry I went a little personal at the beginning. She's like, are you kidding? People couldn't believe that you were even here and that you could
Yeah.
do what you did. And I said, well, my grandma would have wanted me to do that, right? So
Yeah.
so we face things
Yeah.
in the speaking field that people kind of take for granted, or whatever. And
Yeah.
so there's a lot of stuff going on behind the scenes, and I don't want
Right.
to say I'm old, I'm seasoned. So I get to share
I'm
the knowledge.
seasoned. Okay,
Exactly.
I'm
I'm
seasoned. Good. I
seasoned.
like that. We're seasoned.
I get to share what I've learned in the business with you all, with the people that come through the academy, and pass that gift on because, the
Mm.
best leaders are the ones that develop other leaders, right?
Yes, I agree. Yeah. Yeah. That mentorship piece is huge. I mean, I've always had that in everything that I do in my business, when I had my own agency, in my nonprofit work, when I sit on boards, over at Arana Software, where also our favorite color is orange for our
Yes,
brand. So,
love.
I love that. And so that mentorship piece, I think, is really, really important.
Yeah.
There's a bit of, like, fostering, passing down the torch, and that honor, and the tradition of it, as well as, like you said earlier,
Yep.
lifting people up. Yeah,
Exactly.
for
Especially in
sure.
hard times, giving
Mm,
of yourself to others. It's the best way to kind of lift your spirit, lift your heart,
mm,
during those challenges. Because the things you go through, your testimonies can help
yes.
someone else maybe going through that same thing.
That peer-to-peer counseling is there's definitely something to be said for it.
Yes, and like the whole TEDx thing, a lot of our speakers in our bureau, almost all of us have done TED Talks,
Oh,
and
uh-huh.
I don't know about you, the largest audience I've ever spoken in front of was 13,000,
Whew.
and however, the most intimidated I've ever felt on stage was my TEDx talk, because
Ah,
there was some stuff that was happening 24 hours before we went live that's like,
uh-huh.
I don't tell people because I don't wanna scare them, but it
Yeah.
was it was probably outside of giving birth to my children, one of the most scary but rewarding
Mm,
experiences that I've ever had. So I love in
mm.
my work with the academy, I also get to help people prepare for auditions and also
Yes.
prepare to do and deliver their TEDx
Yes.
because that's going to leave a footprint on
Mhm.
on their
I mean,
future
it's
career.
definitely helped me with my brand.
Oh my
So
gosh,
you talk
yes.
about networking, and branding, and at the at Arana Software, the marketing consulting is what I've done. So it's important, I think, to make sure that you're kind of locking into that. You're living your values, you're delivering, and you're walking the walk, right?
That's
Because
right.
so many people, anybody can get on the phone
Yeah,
and record some things and put them
right.
up on TikTok. That doesn't mean they're authentic. You can even act, but then when it comes down to it, and it comes down to the wire, and you're actually there, and it's
Yep.
time to deliver, those people, they fall short because they've been pretending. They haven't been authentic. They haven't been living up to their values of their brand. And so I
Yeah.
think that's stuff, when we can really focus on that, we have a stronger foundation,
And it keeps
right?
us humble, right? We're not celebrities. How many green rooms have I been in? Have you been in across the country and abroad where people come in and they think they're some kind of celebrity?
Oh,
You're not. I
there's
like
always
hands down.
one. There's always one at a
Oh my
conference.
gosh,
Honestly, there's always one.
totally.
There's always the one. They come in, they're handing out their book. They're doing,
Oh,
I'm like, okay,
well.
okay, we're all writing a book. All right.
Well, and
Sure.
so,
Sure, we're all in the middle of a book. We're all in the middle of this. We
oh my
got
gosh,
our
yes,
things. Like, don't what are we doing right now? And that's not
exactly.
networking. That's not relationship building.
No, it's not, and it's just funny to me because I love to put well, how shall I say? I love people that underestimate me, right? And
Yes,
I had
same.
somebody call me a rookie one time, like, "Hey, rookie," when I was starting to get larger audience, I was like, "Are you kidding me right now?" Like the things that people say and do, it's like I thrive when I get to shift mindsets for people. When I can
Yes.
turn a room full of like jaded professionals maybe into like
Yes.
bold, intentional connections to me, when
Yes.
people get kind of like cocky or whatever, I always tell speakers, like, you
Uh-huh.
know what? I'm here to help people. I'm here to shift mindsets. I'm here to share my knowledge with other people. The people that want to leave a room changed, that's my goal. So it's a
Yes.
blessing for us to be in front of people,
Ugh.
not the other way around. So I'm quick to remind people, like, there is no leave your ego at the door. Okay.
Right.
That way we can
Right.
do the
Yeah.
work
Wait a
that we
minute
do.
here. Wait. I had such a transformational moment. It wasn't last month. It was in June. June? Maybe it was May. I was in Oslo. And
Ah,
so I did a talk. I don't know if you've spoken in Scandinavia
no,
before. I've
have not.
been about, maybe, I don't know, 5 times, 6 times, seven, maybe. Okay, a few times. Okay, but
Yeah.
Scandinavians, they're more, they tend to be stoic, right? So the
Ah,
very first time, same conference, NDC Oslo is one of the biggest tech conferences in Europe. And I was there and I was speaking, and I was talking, and I'm so much of a storyteller,
yes,
and I include the audience, and
yes.
they weren't really responding. And I would be like, hey, raise your hand, and nobody would raise their hand. And I started speaking faster and faster. I was like,
Yeah.
they hate me. They hate me. Right. And everybody, I finished and I said, any questions? And everybody gave me a little golfer's clap, and they
Oh,
stood up and they walked out. And I was like, oh my gosh, they hate it. And then actually I looked at the ratings and they were all green, except I had like a few yellows and one red. And I was like, oh, that's fine. Actually, they like me. So now fast forward, I've been to the conference maybe 4 times now, right? And this
yeah.
last year I went, and I gave the most vulnerable talk I've ever given. It was my new adversity talk,
Yes.
right? And I gave that talk, and I had people coming up giving me hugs. They were crying,
Yeah.
and they were speechless.
Mm,
And so when you talk about that kind of transformation, like where
yeah.
I helped the audience really get in touch with their feelings in a culture that's very, very stoic and not expressive of their
Right.
feelings, like,
Interesting.
yes, like what a
How
win.
rewarding.
Yeah. And so I
You
went to the
know, it's
organizers and like, oh, I had like 3 people come up and give me hugs. They were crying. And the organizers were like, wait, that's in a good way, right? I was like,
yes.
yeah, in a good
I
way.
love this, because it's like, here's what I love, the element of surprise when
Uh-huh.
because we have to like get ourselves hyped too before we go on stage.
Yes.
So like this is what I love. 1 minute they're expecting just another
Right.
speaker. The
Right.
next minute they're wide-eyed going,
Right.
"Whoa, I didn't see that coming."
Love that.
And I love that. I was speaking at this is just, I talk about networking, and I was at a Microsoft conference speaking, and somebody in the audience during the QA said, we're not like funny people. We're like software developers. So
Yeah.
we can't network. And I'm like, first of all, don't speak for the whole room, right? Second of
Yeah.
all, we talk about networking myths. And one of the things I do in my body of work is I break networking myths. And I was like, who told you that you have to be funny to
Right.
network? Networking is, again, it's about that authenticity. And
Mm-hmm.
it's, you don't have to stand up there and be a comedian. Although I work with
Right.
some speakers that are, have like, Will Travis has an improv background,
Sure. Right.
and
He's a comedian. He's legit.
he's legit. He has that right. But the rest of us, it's about just like, how can we develop mutually beneficial relationships? You don't have to be funny to create value in your circle of influence. So one thing I love is when an audience, I love when they throw things out. They try to stump me, but I've been doing this long
Yes.
enough that a lot of
Yes.
the myths that come up, like,
Uh-huh.
let's talk about that for a minute, because it comes up so much in audiences. So perhaps our audience
Uh-huh.
today might be interested in that. But people say, "Oh, well, networking is who you know." All
Oh,
right,
right. Right, right, right.
it's more than just who you know. It's who you know who remembers you when an
Mm-hmm.
opportunity knocks. How are you going to stay front of
Ah.
mind when, someone says, "Gosh,
Ah.
we need someone that can come and speak about this," or, "Oh gosh, our company needs someone that can do change management," or, "Gosh, it sure would be nice if we had someone that could come and talk about Chat GPT or AI." And then,
Mm.
"Oh, I know someone." So
Mm.
really it's about staying front of mind, which is again where
Yes.
LinkedIn comes in, because I
Right.
help a lot of clients, first of all, update their LinkedIn profiles so that they're current and they're sending out the right
Right.
message. And then
Right.
two, how do we use LinkedIn's platform to get that message out, whether it's
Mm-hmm.
blogging or live videos or content creation. So I do a lot
Mm-hmm.
of that work with my clients. And in
Uh-huh.
that process, we talk about, again, that well, I have to have a million connections, right? Well, it's more
Mm.
about, if you have quantity without quality, I guess,
That's
all that
right.
is noise. So you've got
Right.
to be intentional. Who do you want to talk to and
Yeah.
why? How can you bring value to them,
Uh-huh.
first? I always
Uh-huh.
offer, like, how can I be of service to you? How can I support you
Yes.
first? And then the rest of it just kind of comes because, we talk about gift giving, right? When
Yes.
you give a gift to someone, but if the expectation is, what do I get in return? It's not really a
So,
gift.
yeah.
So I encourage audiences and clients to look at networking as it's a gift with
Mm-hmm.
no expectation, that not a
Mm-hmm.
what's in it for me, but here's how
Right.
I can serve you. And what I have learned, and I have so many incredible stories, but when you give to others and you put that energy in the universe, it always comes back. It may not be that
Yes.
exact person,
Yes.
but I've had people pour into me over the years,
Yes.
and then I turn around and I pour in. Can I give you an example, like a personal thing?
Mm-hmm.
So my dad passed away 6 weeks ago, and
Mm.
it's just been a rough time. I lost my mom
Yes.
last year, so it's been really, really hard. So my sister and I went through the hospice experience down in Florida.
Mm.
We didn't know what we were doing, and
Yeah.
let me just say, those people are angels. I mean, just it
Yes.
was an incredible experience. Well, with the craziness of going through life, right, and all that, and blah blah blah, I came back to Tulsa, and my sister and I realized,
Uh-huh.
oh my gosh, we didn't really get a chance to thank those people or do something nice for them or whatever. And then I have a lady in one of my women's support groups here where I live,
Mm-hmm.
and she's a hospice nurse.
Oh.
So I was able to, without going into detail, I was able to bless her, support her, and do something really, really nice for her.
Yes.
And I told her
Uh-huh.
when I shared this gift with her, I said, because you do the work that is so hard,
Yes.
I want to bless you because you deal with this every day. These families going through this,
Right.
and you
Right.
don't probably get a lot of praise and thank you. So again,
Right.
that's an example of someone blessed us. We turn
Uh-huh.
around and we bless someone else, and it just
Yes.
networking is like an adventure.
Uh-huh.
Every day I go out, whether I'm at Starbucks, the gym, in front of
Uh-huh.
audiences, doing a webinar, one on one, or in front of thousands of people.
Yes.
It's a gift, and we've been doing it since the beginning of time. How do I get from point A to point B
Mm-hmm.
faster? And it's through
Mm.
relationships. You know, it's funny because I do career coaching. I'm a former IT recruiter, and
Uh-huh.
that is where I learned networking beginning. And people are surprised that come to me. I do resumes, LinkedIn profiles, and career coaching using networking as a conduit, right? Like how,
Right.
who are the people we want to get in front of? And here's the strategy for how. And it's just interesting. Networking is just, it's so amazing how
Mm.
it's kind of like dating, right? You go out in
Mm.
the world, if you're looking for it, it's not going to
Yes.
come, but things that
It's
happen
like a
organically.
choose your own adventure every time.
And if you look at networking in that way, like,
Uh-huh.
gosh, I just met somebody, they could have the potential to change my life, or
Right.
I could change theirs. And to me, that's the exciting part. But
Yes.
a lot of people put so much pressure of doing it
They
perfectly,
miss
or
that magic.
yeah, and there's so
Yeah.
many.
Uh-huh.
I have met celebrities, authors, sports figures. My children have been blessed. I haven't had to use a paper resume since
Uh-huh.
1992. Both
Uh-huh.
of my kids, one's in orthopedics, the other one's in IT for an engineering firm. Neither one of them had to
Uh-huh.
go through the formal job board interview
Yes.
process, resume. It was through their network. Huh, all
Yes.
those years paid off of mom making us go to network, right? And they're
Very
both
validating.
exactly. They're prospering, and they're both, under the age of 25. They're learning the skills that unfortunately I'm seeing a lot of young people, because I do a lot of work
Mm.
in colleges where I'm teaching
Mhm.
LinkedIn for a whole semester. And
Uh-huh.
it's a lot of, they're on their phone.
Uh-huh.
They've lost their ability to really those social skills and that
Yes.
etiquette. And I want
Yes.
to bring people back. And I think, to your point earlier, we do that through storytelling. We
Yes.
do that through, hey, this horrible thing happened to me. So you know what? When it happens to you, you're going to get through it too.
And it's
And
relatable.
that's
It's
right. And I think that's,
relatable.
yeah. And that's what we try to emphasize with, with our speaker bureau is, if you want the real deal, if you want people to get fired up, take bold action, because,
Mhm.
knowledge without implementation is just information. And so it's the action that turns insight into impact, right?
That's right.
And
That's right.
we know when we go to speak in front of audiences that they're only going to retain a certain percentage of what we
Yes.
share. And
Yes.
some people go, oh, that was entertaining, that was interesting, and then they go home.
Uh-huh.
I
Right.
want the people that are like, I'm going to try that, I'm going to do
Yes.
that, I can do this too,
I love it when they come back later and they're like, "Hey,
Yes,
Christina, I tried this. Hey,
yes,
you're Christina. I saw you speak at this conference and I still do this with my team." Like, I want that. I want somebody to come up and be like, "Hey, I took your advice. I did have that conversation with so and so. I
yep,
did go and talk to the doctor. I did go and, work it out with my boss." Like, I love those
yeah,
moments.
it's the
That's really
gift,
why I do it is to help
exactly,
improve people and to share. It's just another, for me, it's another avenue for mentorship, really, you
Exactly.
know? Yeah. Yeah.
Exactly. And
Yeah.
here's a question I get a lot too.
Mm.
Where's the best place to network? And I say my answer is very
Wherever you are.
everywhere. Everywhere. I've met people in parking lots. I've met people at, of course, professional events, but I've
Uh-huh.
also met people at my kids' sporting events, walking my
Yes.
dog, just
Yes.
like I drive a convertible. And so
Mhm.
when I have the top down, it's interesting how many people will actually talk to you like while you're just sitting there at a red light
Yeah.
or something, and
Yeah. That's
it's just
fun.
it's everywhere, but it's only
Yeah.
for the people who see you've got to see it as an opportunity. And a lot of people are really skeptical at first, but
Mm.
like you said earlier, I want them to lean in.
Yeah.
You're in front of an audience that's really hearing you when they're laughing, maybe crying.
Right.
But I want to
Unless, of
challenge
course, you're in
audience.
Scandinavia.
Yes, exactly. I want people to always be thinking, taking notes, connecting with me on
Yes.
social media afterwards, and then snapping selfies, telling me their
Yes.
stories. It is interesting. I did an event in Vegas.
Mhm.
There were like 8,000 people, and my joke is 7,995 of them were men. That
Oh,
was a very different event. Then I got on the
right, right,
plane.
right.
I flew to Salt Lake City to present in front of 300 all women audience.
Yes.
It was a totally different,
Yeah.
like had to
Oh,
take some
yeah.
slides out from Vegas and
Oh,
change it up.
absolutely.
But we have to adapt to our audiences. The best speakers are ones that can really translate their message no matter
Mhm.
who the audience is.
Yeah.
And really, and it's a gift. It's an art. And
Mm.
you really have to, craft your art. I probably get at least 10 inquiries a month. Hey, I want to be
Mhm.
in your speaker bureau. Oh, okay. Do you have a book? Did you do a TED talk? Do you
Right.
have 3 signature keynotes? Do you have your website? Do you have your social
Uh-huh.
currency? Okay, then you're a great candidate for the academy, right?
Right, right, right,
Um,
right, 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 right,
because it's a
right.
business, right? It's
Mhm.
this gift of sharing knowledge and helping people, and people don't realize that you just don't get on a stage and go, "Okay, I'm here.
Okay, I showed up.
Let's
I'm
go."
here. I have the
Yeah.
audience now. Now you're my captors. I'm just
Yeah,
gonna
'cause, there's a lot of
orate
things.
at you.
Yeah, there's things, I don't want to scare anybody, but there are things in this business that the average person doesn't realize. And
Sure.
and it's funny because you have to capture the audience's attention really quickly. And
Yes.
I have a personal goal that I want to get people off their phones. So when I take
Yes.
the stage and I look
Same.
out there and I see people not paying attention, um my personal challenge is, okay, I'm going to tell a funny story. I'm going to engage them. I'm going
Yes.
to do these things to get them, because if they're off their phone, then they can listen. And
Yes.
if they're listening, hopefully they're learning. And I love these audiences where it's like, okay, the ones that think, okay, I've heard it all.
Uh-huh.
I
Uh-huh.
love, love,
Uh-huh.
love watching these light bulb moments happen in
Uh-huh.
real
It's my
time.
favorite.
Yeah, we were
It's
like,
my
boop, boop, boop. They go
favorite.
from this to, is she
Like,
for
wait
real?
a minute.
I
Yeah.
always I always tell new speakers, my very first joke, it always bombs because people are like, they don't like, is she for real? If you were
Uh-huh.
to meet me at Chili's right now and have lunch with me, this is exactly who I am. When
That's
I'm on
right.
stage, it's the
That's
same
right.
personality. And
That's right.
although in a small, more interactive, intimate audience of, like, I do master classes with like maybe 20 people,
Uh-huh.
you can really engage them and it feels really personal. In a large group, 5,000
Uh-huh.
plus people, you really just have to, you feel that hum of the energy when you're
Uh-huh.
on
You
stage,
do.
and you can't fake it.
That's
These
right.
people are smart, they know it.
That's
So
right.
there's a lot that goes into the craft, because I've had people, again, I've had people heckle me. I've had
Uh-huh.
people make rude comments. When you have a
Uh-huh.
signature keynote called Naked Networking,
Yes.
and then
Yes.
someone makes some inappropriate comment, and you're like, "Yeah, that's really clever, like, haven't never heard
Uh-huh.
that one before." But it's
Uh-huh.
also, when you see Naked Networking on the marquee, people are, like, curious, like, what's gonna happen?
Yeah, that's right. That's
Yeah, and,
right.
like, some of the funniest things, right before I'll go on stage, I call it the universe putting an idea in my head. I always,
Mhm.
my
Mhm.
faith is strong, and so I'm always praying, like, use me as a conduit, and whatever you think I need to say to touch even just one person in this audience.
Yes, in
So
this moment.
Yeah,
Mhm.
and, like, how many
Mhm.
times are we doing this and something comes out of your mouth and you're like, "Oh, where did that come from? I have no idea." And then you realize how it touched somebody. Like you said, I've had
Yes.
people come up afterwards and say, "Wow, your storytelling
Yeah.
really landed on me and I can relate," and they're crying or those, like you said, yes, we're paid professionals to do our craft, but it's how we get paid is those bucket moments where
That's
people are,
right.
you know, it's just I love
Yeah.
it,
I
you
love
know, I
it.
just
Love
it's
it.
fun. It's
Love
fun.
it.
People
Love
are
it.
like, "Do you
Love
get
the bureau.
nervous?" That's another one.
Yeah,
And I'm
yeah,
always like,
yeah.
I really don't get nervous because I think I'm gonna share what's in my heart. I'm gonna share my knowledge. I'm here to help
Yes.
people. The
Yeah.
only time I get nervous is if one of my orange heels breaks or something
Ah.
like that before I go on stage. And that has happened. One time I had to kick off my shoes because the heel broke on
Yeah.
my orange heel, and I was like, ugh.
Yeah. That's
So,
funny. That's funny. I have a friend who does all his talks barefoot.
oh,
He does all his talks barefoot. When he gets on stage, there always has to be a carpet or a rug because he'll speak barefoot. That's how he does it best. It's
Dr.
yeah,
Wayne Dyer, he did the
that's
same
his thing.
thing.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, you
Oh,
remember
that's
he's like in the
interesting.
Eckhart Tolle spiritualist world.
Yeah,
Before
yeah,
he passed,
yeah.
and he would come out and because he
And
wanted to
bare
be
feet.
grounded and be one with the
Oh, I
audience and
see, I
him.
see. Yeah. Oh,
Everybody has
so
their
cool.
style and
So cool, so cool. So I love the bureau, love being in the bureau, love our quarter. I missed the last meeting, love our quarterly meetings. What's coming up next? What's coming up next? You like you said, you're in it right now. You're coming through this season, and it's a lot. And so what does that look like for you? Do you step back? Are you processing?
oh
What
my gosh.
you have upcoming things you just go it's
My world, Helen Keller said, "Life is a amazing adventure or nothing at all." And
oh
I
yeah,
swear I live my life like that, and
yeah,
I'm grateful. Not every day is the same. Not every hour
right,
is the same.
yeah,
And I wake up every day going, "Okay, who can I serve?" And the one day you're on a plane, you're flying because 'cause you're getting ready to do a keynote. The next day you're doing a podcast. The next day I'm
yeah.
working on my second book, Career Dating,
Oh
based off
great.
my TED Talk. I had a little bit of a delay going through all the stuff. I am doing one-on-one coaching. I'm
Mm-hmm.
excited I get to be in London next month. I have, a
Excellent.
whole yeah, and that's another benefit of keynote speaking is you get to travel and
Mm-hmm.
people who just fly in, fly out, I love to experience the culture. Like, I like
Yeah.
to go a few days before
Uh-huh.
and, like, learn and grow and ask, ask the locals, like, what's going on
Yeah.
in town, what's
Yeah.
exciting and things like that,
Same.
and you
Same.
can really pick up on that vibe. So I like to try to extend my trip by a few days, and so sometimes
Same.
I'll bring people with me, and it's just I turn it into
I'll
an
even do
experience.
like a day here, a day there, like bookend it. Like
Yes.
I had never been to Finland, and so I
Ah.
stopped in for a couple of days in Finland, and I had no idea, but they have this karaoke culture in Finland, and I
Mm.
didn't know that, and I karaoke'd my ass off. Carry I,
I love it. No, it's about having fun, right? You gotta
It was
enjoy.
so much fun, and I don't even know if anybody understood me. I certainly didn't understand them because everybody's singing Finnish, and I'd never heard any of these songs before. But
I
I rocked it. It was great. It was
And
great.
that's
I
what life
loved it.
is about. I've learned that
Mhm.
life is short. You're going to go through the heartbreak, you're going to go through the loss. And
Mm.
if you can turn your pain into your purpose, I always say
Mm.
that sometimes a setback is just a set up for
Mm.
something amazing to happen. And that's the
Mm.
beauty of networking. How many clients do I work with? Whether it's a keynote, a master class, or like a individual coaching client who says, for example, I want to work at company X. I'm hell bent. This is what I want. And as we're networking and going through it, they realize the book is not. It's not as once I opened up the book, it wasn't exactly what the cover described, right?
Right,
And so they
right.
find themselves meeting people, and the path goes in a different direction.
Mhm,
And,
mhm.
that's sometimes, networking is not, like a straight line. It's kind of like this, and you just never
Yes.
know who you're gonna meet and how they're gonna
Yeah,
impact your life and where those
absolutely.
things are gonna come from. So, yes, the rest of the year, keynotes, doing some classes. I picked up some new, social media clients where I'm helping them
Mhm.
develop content for LinkedIn, which is exciting.
Uh-huh.
I'm going to be growing the bureau next
Uh-huh.
year. So I've been entertaining and talking to a lot of potential speakers that are interested in joining us. And so I want
Mm-hmm.
to be really careful that one thing about our bureau is we're not going to have 10 speakers that all talk about adversity, because
Right.
I want everybody to kind of bring their own unique gifts. So interviewing
Yes.
speakers for that is really exciting, and just continuing
Uh-huh.
to serve and do the work that I do. Obviously, keynotes are my favorite because you
Yeah.
can one too many
Mm-hmm.
networking strategy in itself. You're in front of all those people. You can teach thousands of people at one time. But there's
Yes.
also something really cool about I've picked up some new career coaching clients that I'm currently working with that I love because
Uh-huh.
I'm opening up their horizons of
Yeah.
the unpublished job market. And
Mm-hmm.
people don't realize that's where most of the jobs are. It's
That's where
not on
most of them
the
come from.
job boards, right?
I
It's
just
it's
watched a
on.
podcast interview with one of my friends the other
Mm.
day, and he was out of work for 13 days.
Oh wow, yeah.
He had 4 offers in that
Mhm.
13 days. And
Yeah.
again, it was
Yeah.
because of his network. Yeah.
Absolutely. And that's why you always want to every week stay active with your network. And I love LinkedIn because you can share a quote, a book, a podcast, and anything that you think
This is
will
what's
bring
going on
value.
with me.
Yes,
Uh-huh.
and again it keeps you front of mind with people so
Yeah.
that when they're at work and someone says, "Gosh, we need a new IT project manager." They go, "I know somebody."
Yeah.
And I want to say this too is sometimes people think just because the phone doesn't ring or you get an email right away that the work you're putting out there isn't paying off. How
Uh-huh.
many times do I get an email or a LinkedIn connection or something where someone will say, "Oh, I heard you speak last year and now I need this," or
That's right.
"Oh, I saw you did a naked networking moment." I do these
That's
little
right.
like 1 and 2 minute videos where I'm like, "Girl, I've just been working out. I'm sweating."
Yeah.
It's not about makeup and prettiness. It's just about having those authentic moments,
Yes.
and
Yeah.
people will respond to that, and I love that. So it's
Uh-huh.
just we all have these opportunities to bring our gifts to the universe, and how will
Mm.
you use your gift to help other people? I think that's what, Gandhi said, be the change you want to see in the world.
Mm.
This is what I'm doing. I'm going out in the world and demonstrating by example the power of connection.
That's right.
So
That's
I hope
right.
that
Well
helps the
said.
people that are
Well
listening
said.
today.
Love it. Love it. Carrie
Yeah.
Mirabal, thank you so much. I appreciate your time. I
Yes.
appreciate your stories. I appreciate your leadership in the Bureau, of
Thank
course.
you.
And it's just so wonderful to connect with you today and to share everything that you've learned and that you have coming up. Gosh, you're just in it all the time. I love that about you. I love that you're just so in the moment,
Thank you.
and very vulnerable. And I love following you on social and seeing your stuff. If people want to connect, what is the best way to follow your stuff, to get your book, to hire you for a keynote, to join the academy? Where can people find you?
I would say my website, just
Hmm.
carriemirabal.com, or LinkedIn
Excellent.
is a great place to connect with me.
Uh-huh.
And
Uh-huh.
let me know what you're looking to do, and I'll help you learn how to strategize, incorporating networking so you can network smarter and
Yes.
reach the goals that you're trying to meet. So,
Ugh, love it. Love it. Thank you so much. I could sit here and talk to you all day long, all day long. It's so great. Every time we get together, we're just like, "Woo, woo, woo, woo."
yeah.
Even like on text, we'll just be like, oh, I'm like, oh gosh, okay. Our service is like 11. I gotta go. Like,
Exactly. Well, thank you very
it's
much for
wonderful.
doing the work that you're doing. I
Mm,
appreciate you, and I appreciate the messages that you're bringing audiences. You're in rooms that I would never be in because our topics are so different, but
yeah.
I
Mhm.
love that uniqueness is
Mm.
so cool for all of us. So keep doing the good work out there, girl.
Thank you, darling. Thank you. You have a wonderful day, and I will talk to you soon.
All right, thanks, and
Thanks.
thanks to everybody who's listening. Bye-bye.
Bye.